Hey guys, Joshua with Josh and Hunter's Adventures, and welcome back to the channel. Today's video, we're talking about our top baits for the month of April. You know, this was a difficult one for me because it seems like in April the bite is so just wide open everywhere, it seems like. So there's so many choices. So what I did is I picked the top baits that I knew that I was going to have every day in April on the deck of my boat that I was going to rely on. So that's what I went with. I started out with 5, but we ended up with 6. So we're going to go over those. You know, the majority of everyone, unless you're really far deep south or you're way up north, the month of April is all about the spawn. If you're in the middle of the country, the spawn is happening usually in April. I mean, for everyone. You're always going to have some that's going to have a late run and move up and spawn into, you know, going into May. But unless you're far south, you're going to have some post-spawn down there probably. But the majority of everyone is going to have those big females moving up to spawn. So let's get into our top baits that we're going to use in the month of April. But if you're new here, make sure you go down, hit that subscribe button, and turn on that notification bell. All right, so let's talk about it. No certain order. First one we got here is a Bomber Long A. Okay, now this is not your normal jerkbait. Okay, this is actually a terrible jerkbait. It doesn't work well at all for a jerkbait, but I use it, and what we use it for around here is a wake bait. Works really good as a wake bait. So I'll fish it a lot of times anywhere around shallow. You know, a lot of times it's on a 45-degree bank or anywhere that they're moving up and staging up before they get into move into the spawning grounds. This is a really good bait. You wouldn't believe that this is a good topwater bait, but it really is. And like I said, you're just going to reel it very slow, and all it does is it walks back and forth like this, and it makes a V on the water. It's a great bait. If you haven't used it, make sure you go ahead and give it a try. It's a Bomber Long A. I know I like the bone color. Also throw the chrome, and then there's another one. It's like a shad-like color. It's a really good color also. But 90% of the time I'm throwing that bone color. Okay, next we have a Finesse Worm. In my part of the country, in the month of April, a little Finesse Worm is a very big key bait for catching smallmouth. So we throw it on like a 1/0 hook with a 1/8 ounce head. I use an 1/8 ounce tungsten head. Works really good. I play around with the colors a lot of times. I'll throw just a green pumpkin. Sometimes I'll switch over to this cherry seed. That's what I was throwing today, and I was having pretty good luck with it. But it's a really good little bait, 4 to 5 inch, just Finesse Worm. Now I'm going to fish this Finesse Worm anywhere that I know that the bass are going to be moving up to spawn, or they're already spawning. A lot of times in our lakes here, the smallmouth, we won't be able to see them on the beds because sometimes they spawn just a little bit deeper. Plus our lakes are rising so much this time of year. You may go out one day and see one on the bed, and then go out the next day and the lake's up 1 foot, 2 foot, and you just can't see it. So a lot of times what we do is we'll find those areas where the smallmouth like to spawn on those steeper banks. Sometimes they'll, you know, spawn back in like little pockets and things like that. Really what I look for is any type of 45-degree banks. A lot of times I'll fish a lot of pockets, you know, on the sides of points and places like that for the smallmouth. It seems to have a lot of luck. My next bait is a spinnerbait. I love to throw a spinnerbait in the month of April. And a lot of times, you know, it seems like we get a lot of rain, so sometimes you have to change up your color, you know, maybe to a more chartreuse and white. This is a War Eagle. I love to throw War Eagle spinnerbaits. I know we've talked about them on the channel before. They just catch fish, and I'm not sponsored by them or anything, but I just believe in them. It's a great spinnerbait, but I'll throw this up shallow. A lot of times it'll be around docks or, you know, rocks, brush, anything. A lot of times they're staging up, you know, moving up, trying to get that easy meal on any type of brush or anything, like I said. And it's a really good bait for the month of April. A lot of big bass have been caught on spinnerbaits, so make sure you have that tied on. Now, moving on, I like to throw a swim bait, but I always throw, it seems like a 2.8 or a 3-inch swim bait. But this month it seems like I always go up to a little bit bigger because I'm trying to get that bigger bite. But you know, this is a 3.8 to like a 4.3 Kitech. The thing about that is you don't, it seems like you can still get a lot of bites. You're not just trying to get that one big bite, you know. You're not like, it's not like a great big 5-6 inch bait where a lot of times you're only going to get those bigger bass. But this bait, you can still catch a lot of, you know, 1, 2, 3 pounders. So it's not really limiting you to, you can still catch a lot of quantity on it. But I like to, like I said, keep it around that 4-inch range in the month of April. And I throw mine on a 1/2 ounce head, but that way I can just cover a lot of water, and I can fish it on the bottom, close to the bottom, or I can throw it up around the dock and swim it by. It doesn't sink too terribly fast, but I throw mine on a 7-to-1 speed reel, so I'm able to move it pretty fast in the water column. But a good 4-inch swim bait is a great bait this time of year. Now our next bait, I know that we had this one also in the month of March, but it was too good not to leave out, and I throw it a lot in April also. That is a jerkbait. Here lately, I've been playing around and really using the Megabass 110+1 size. So basically it just dives just a little bit deeper, and I've been noticing if I use, what I've been using is 12-pound Sunline Sniper, and it doesn't go any deeper than 10 foot. So I'm able to actually fish it, you know, depending on how hard I reel it down at the first, you know, I can keep it in that 6-foot range, or if I reel it on down, I can get it down to that 10-foot range also. But a jerkbait is a great bait for the month of April. You've got a lot of bass shallow, and they're looking for that easy meal. This is imitating a dying shad, so it's a great bait for this time of year. Like I said, I try to keep my colors fairly simple unless I have some really stained waters. This you can see is just a clear, almost translucent with a little white on the top there, and good bait. Caught some on it today, but I like to throw a jerkbait, like I said, this time of year. Cover a lot of water with it, and it's just a great bait, like I said, imitating that dying shad when they're looking for that easy meal. All right, our last bait for the month of April is a jig. I throw a football jig a lot. This is a round head jig. Anything from a 3/8 to a 1/2 ounce. I really don't go any bigger than a 1/2 ounce. I've been playing around with this round head a lot here lately. It just seems like it doesn't hang up in the rocks as much as what the 1/2 ounce football jig has been. I noticed the other day that I was just hanging up a lot with the 1/2 ounce, and it seemed like when I dropped down to this 3/8, it really didn't hang up as bad. But this, I'm going to throw it really anywhere. I can still flip with this bait if I want to. I can throw it up around a dock. I can still throw it on a bank and just drag it on the bottom like you normally do. Just pick you out a really good trailer. I've got a NetBait Paca chunk trailer on there. This is just a green pumpkin with a little bit of brown and some purple in it. I make these myself, so I just play around with the colors, and if I find one I like, then I just make a bunch of them. But like I said, just a round head 3/8 to, or round head 3/8 to a 1/2 ounce, or a football jig in a 3/8 to a 1/2 ounce. Guys, that is my top baits for the month of April. 6 of them. We got the jig. We've got a Bomber Long A for the top water. It's a wake bait. We've got the Kitech and around the 4-inch size. We've got the Finesse Worm, the Megabass jerkbait, and the Spinnerbait. All those you're able to, you know, pretty much cover a lot of water. Other than the Finesse Worm, you know, you sort of slow down there just a little bit, but it's still a lot of really big bites in the month of April come on a Finesse Worm. I think if you guys will give that a try, even if you don't have smallmouth in your area, still give that a try. You'd be surprised at how many fish you actually catch on a Finesse Worm in the month of April. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you have any other baits that you don't have on this list that I have, leave me a comment and let me know. If you have any questions about any of them, you can also leave me a question or a comment down there, and I'll be glad to answer it the best that I can. If you're new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on that notification bell, that way you know when we put out videos. Till next time, guys, this is Josh with Josh and Hunter's Adventures, and thanks for watching.